Hello, welcome to Pamphlet Global. I'm Raja Munib, and today I'm going to talk about the latest on the West Asian crisis, especially between Israel and Lebanon, because Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu are once again showing signs of disagreement. This is after Trump yesterday posted on Truth Social that after his phone call with Benjamin Netanyahu, there would be no troops going to Beirut. This post came after Netanyahu had earlier announced that Israeli troops would march into Beirut to crush Hezbollah. He also said that Israel will not attack Hezbollah and Hezbollah won't attack Israel. Now, this is his latest diktat to Israel to halt its offensive in Lebanon, as Washington is quietly exploring diplomatic channels with Iran. But this raises a much bigger question. Can any future US-Iran deal survive if Netanyahu does not support it? Because at the first glance, it appears to be about negotiations between Washington and Tehran. But history suggests that there has always been a third player in the room, and that has been Israel. For more than a decade, Netanyahu has remained the single most consistent opponent of any agreement that allows Iran to retain even a limited nuclear capability. While American administrations have changed, Netanyahu's position has remained remarkably unchanged on Iran. The clearest example came in 2015 when then President Barack Obama signed the Iran nuclear deal known as the JCPOA. He saw it as a diplomatic breakthrough, whereas Netanyahu saw it as a strategic mistake being committed by the United States government. So then, in an unprecedented move, the Israeli Prime Minister bypassed the White House completely and addressed the US Congress directly, warning the lawmakers in US that the Obama deal would not stop unless Iran's nuclear ambitions are completely scuttled, and by merely delaying them, it's not going to stop any deal. Now, Obama did push the deal through and JCPOA was signed, but Netanyahu achieved something equally important in US. He ensured that the agreement Barack Obama signed with Iran never gained any bipartisan political support inside the United States. 3 years later, that political groundwork that was laid by Netanyahu in the US actually paid off, because under Donald Trump's first term, the United States withdrew from the JCPOA agreement and launched the maximum pressure campaign against Iran. That included sanctions returned once again on Iran as the diplomatic engagement completely collapsed. The framework that was built by Obama was completely dismantled. But this was just not a change in American policy. It reflected years of pressure from Netanyahu, who had consistently argued that diplomacy was insufficient and that Iran remained an existential threat. Today, as Donald Trump once again considers a diplomatic path, the same structural problems still remains between US and Israel. Washington may be willing to negotiate, so would be Tehran looking to negotiate, but Netanyahu's threshold for an acceptable deal remains significantly higher than that of most diplomatic frameworks that revolve around Iran's nuclear capability. As for Israel, managing the Iranian threat is just not good enough. Netanyahu's position has often been that Iran's nuclear capability must be eliminated and not merely restricted, and that is why the future of US-Iran diplomacy may not ultimately be decided in Washington or Tehran alone. It may be decided whether any agreement can survive the strategic test set by Benjamin Netanyahu himself. Because the lesson of the last decade is very clear. A US-Iran deal can be negotiated between the two capitals, but its survival often depends on the third, which lies in Tel Aviv. Thank you.